In this video, I'm simulating every chapter of Poppy Playtime in LEGO, rebuilding every location, every character, even recreating every death. Let the story begin. This is Greg, and he just received a letter telling him to come back to work, which sucks. Obviously. When he arrives, the entire factory is abandoned. The only thing waiting for him is Huggy Wuggy.
He's just standing there, menacingly.
So naturally, Greg leaves the factory and gets the heck out of there. But he decides to get a grab pack first. Suddenly, Huggy Wuggy disappears. So Greg leaves the factory and gets the heck out of there. Greg then builds a toy, and immediately after that, Huggy Wuggy tries to eat him. So he leaves the factory and gets the heck out of there. Ugh. Huggy chases Greg through a tiny conveyor belt tunnel, and Greg drops a box on him, sending him falling thousands of feet. No, I'm kidding. I'm dropping him off my roof. This is terrifying up here. 3, 2, 1. Greg continues deep into the factory and discovers a doll locked in a case. He opens it. Moron! And Poppy starts talking to him. So he leaves the factory and gets the heck out of there. Ugh, come on. Looks like we're committed now, Greg. Poppy says she'll help us escape, but then immediately gets kidnapped by Mommy Longlegs. But before I show you her, I want to show you every pink LEGO piece I own. Yeah, that is all of them. Now, here's Mommy Longlegs. She looks like one of those Instagram squiggly filters. Mommy tells us that she'll let Poppy go if we complete 3 games. First up, Simon says, every time you get a question right, Bunzo goes up. Every time you get it wrong, he comes down. So naturally, we sent this man to the moon. And, we won, obviously. Next we play Give the Tiny Huggy Wuggies Brain Damage. And brain damage Greg gave them. Honestly, he doesn't need to be told to do this stuff anymore, he just does it. Next, we have Red Light Green Light with PJ Pugger Pillar. Remember when I said I didn't have any pink parts? We'll have no purple parts either. That will not be a thing that will come back to bite me later. So we're just gonna skip that. Mommy gets as mad at Greg as my mom does when I don't do the dishes. So we throw her into a giant meat grinder. I don't have a giant meat grinder, but my hand is made of meat and can grind things. So now we're finally able to leave the factory. Unfortunately, Poppy was driving, and Poppy is a woman, so we crashed. We start chapter 3 by getting kidnapped by CatNap and shoved down a reactor shaft, like we're in Star Wars or something. Then some random kid named Ollie calls us on the phone like, "What's up, homie? I've been trapped down here for years." And Greg's like, "Sir, I don't even know you. How do you even have reception down here? Who's paying the phone bill? Is there like a secret Verizon tower in this vent?" Ollie tells us to go to the underground Playcare facility. You know, the abandoned, definitely OSHA-approved children's center. Nothing says safe for kids like rusty tetanus-infused pipes and flickering lights. Oh, and giant murderous toy abominations. Forgot about that one. First stop, the school, where all nightmares begin. Everything seems normal until Miss Delight decides she delights in violence and starts chasing us like we forgot to do our homework assignment. Then we walk through mysterious red smoke, because apparently breathing is optional now. Boom. Nightmare sequence. Walls get weird, everything's turning creepy, and I'm starting to realize my LEGO budget cannot afford this level of special effects. And then Huggy Wuggy eats us, because why not? Next we meet Dog Day, who explains the entire lore in about 30 seconds. He's like, prototype this, prototype that. Meanwhile, Greg is just standing there like, man, I kinda miss Huggy Wuggy. Don't worry, you won't have to miss him for very long. Then we get another nightmare sequence, because apparently the red smoke came with a buy one get one free trauma deal. Kissy Missy shows up for about 2 seconds just to remind us that she exists, and then disappears immediately, like a jump scare subscription service. No explanation, just vibes. Finally, we fight CatNap, who loses. But right when we think we won, a giant metal hand appears and basically says, nah! Kissy Missy gets attacked, and I guess she also signed up for one of those jump scare subscription services too. Then Poppy abandons us immediately, because apparently leaving Greg alone in a monster factory is just standard procedure now. We meet the doctor, who sends his terrifying, fluffy murder machine after us, a chihuahua. Yarnaby. Thankfully, Doey helps us escape, but we end up falling into a giant pit with Pianosaurus, the current big bad of the series, so naturally we have to build him, starting with his head. Come on, he's already dead? At least we can build Doey instead. Look at his little hat. Absolute legend. Then Kissy Missy suddenly yoinks us out of there, and we finally get to see the prototype's legs. Ooh! We make the safe haven where Greg learns that he needs the Omni-Hand so we can blow up the entire facility, which seems like a slight OSHA violation, but Greg's no stranger to OSHA violations, so he heads back out. We run into Yarnaby, again, who immediately gets turned into a rotisserie chicken. At this point, the doctor sends Baba Chomps after us, which honestly feels like a pretty major downgrade. The doctor has the Omni-Hand, and apparently the only way to get it is to kill him, and the only way to do that is to break his heart. So here goes nothing. I'm breaking up with you. You're ugly. I never loved you. Yeah, that should do it. Now we can finally plant bombs, and absolutely nothing bad can happen.
Hey!
Well, that didn't end well. And now Doey's about to kill Greg. But don't worry, I know exactly what to do in this situation. We meet back up with Poppy, and Oliver calls us. It turns out to be the prototype. So Poppy runs, and the cave explodes, and we fall with Kissy's arm. Huggy Wuggy spends the next eternity chasing us around the factory until he finally catches us in the elevator and steals our grab pack. But luckily we discover the greatest character in the entire series, the Flashlight. We also meet Giblet, who reveals that Brawn the dinosaur has been chewing on our grab pack this entire time. Yahoo! Now we finally have it back. We reunite with Giblet, who introduces us to Chum Chompkins. And then Chum Chompkin immediately eats us. Classic move right there. During all this time, we also get to see the prototype's toes. Anyways, we leave those two behind so we can get kidnapped by Lily Love Braids. And before you ask, yes, I still barely have any purple visas. Eventually, Greg gets invited to a tea party with Kissy Missy and Poppy, where we finally meet the special guest, the prototype. I would explain how I built him, but taking it apart would be like defusing a bomb. If one piece comes off, I'm never recovering mental. During the tea party, Poppy gets absolutely owned, So everyone starts running while Lily gets crushed by a giant cloud. We barely escape with only minor bodily damage, but then Huggy Wuggy finds us again, because of course he does. He catches us, but then he sees Kissy Missy, and they look each other in the eyes, and they kiss. I mean, Huggy gets stabbed, then Kissy gets stabbed, then we get stabbed. At this point, everybody's getting stabbed, then Gilbert stabs us again to bring us back to life, somehow. And then finally, we stab a computer to resurrect the doctor. The end.